Picture a world filled with noise. Countless voices speak at once. Ads shout, leaders command, brands promise. Everyone tells you what they do and how they do it. Very few ever tell you why, and yet deep down you know something is missing. You feel it when motivation fades. You sense it when success feels hollow. You notice it when people follow rules, but not purpose. The question is not why people fail. The real question is why some people inspire action while others only demand it. This story begins with a simple observation. The greatest leaders and the most influential movements do not start with products or plans. They start with belief. They start with a reason. Long before Simon Sinek wrote a book, before stages and talks and charts, he noticed a pattern. Some individuals could rally millions without force. Others had power but no loyalty. Some companies built fans, not customers. Others chased attention and slowly disappeared. The difference was not intelligence or resources. It was clarity of purpose. Imagine standing in a room full of people. One speaker steps forward and explains what they do. Another explains how they do it. You listen politely. Then a third speaks and begins with why they exist. Something shifts inside you. You lean forward. You feel seen. You feel aligned. You feel trust. That moment is not accidental. It is biological. It is emotional. It is human. Most organizations speak from the outside in. They start with what? We make this product. We offer this service. It is faster. It is cheaper. It is better. Then they move inward to how. We use this process. We have this feature. We follow this system. Only a few ever reach the center. Only a few clearly express why they exist beyond profit. Why they wake up in the morning. Why their work matters in the world. Those few do not just sell. They inspire. Simon Sinek calls this pattern the golden circle. 3 simple layers. What? How? Why? Every organization knows what they do. Some know how they do it differently. Very few know why they do what they do. And the ones who do are the ones people follow, not because they have to, but because they want to. This is not about marketing, it is about human behavior. The human brain processes information in a specific way. The part of the brain responsible for feelings, trust, and loyalty does not control language. It controls decision-making. When you start with why, you speak directly to that part. People do not buy what you do. They buy why you do it. What you do simply proves what you believe. Think of the leaders who changed history. They did not offer plans. They offered belief. They spoke about freedom, justice, dignity, possibility. People followed them not because they agreed with every detail, but because they believed in the cause. The words were simple. The message was clear. The purpose was unmistakable. Now think of companies that people love. They do not just sell products. They stand for something: creativity, simplicity, challenging the status quo. Their customers feel like part of a tribe. They feel understood. They feel connected. Loyalty like that cannot be forced. It must be earned through purpose. Many organizations chase success from the outside. They cut prices. They copy competitors. They manipulate with fear or incentives. It works for a while. Discounts drive sales. Pressure drives compliance. But it never builds trust. When the incentive disappears, so does the loyalty. Manipulation creates transactions. Inspiration creates relationships. There are only 2 ways to influence behavior. You can manipulate or you can inspire. Manipulation includes fear, peer pressure, novelty, and promotions. They are effective in the short term. They are expensive. They exhaust trust. Inspiration costs less and lasts longer. It requires clarity. It requires belief. It requires courage to lead with why. Many leaders struggle not because they lack vision, but because they cannot articulate it. They know what success looks like, but not what it feels like. They chase metrics without meaning. They confuse growth with fulfillment. When people inside an organization do not know why they are there, they work for paychecks, not purpose. Innovation slows. Passion fades. Cynicism grows. But when people understand why, something powerful happens. Decisions become easier. Alignment strengthens. People take ownership. They do not need to be micromanaged. They act because they care. They stay because they belong. Trust is not built through skill alone. Trust is built through consistency between belief and action. When leaders say one thing and do another, trust collapses. When actions reflect values, trust deepens. Authenticity is not about being perfect. It is about being clear and consistent. There is a difference between authority and leadership. Authority comes from position. Leadership comes from influence. You can have authority and still fail to lead. You can have no title and still inspire others. Leadership is not about being in charge. It is about taking responsibility for those in your care. Great leaders think long-term. They play an infinite game. They do not chase quick wins at the expense of trust. They sacrifice short-term gains to protect long-term belief. They understand that culture is not what you say. It is what you do repeatedly. It is what you tolerate. It is what you reward. The most powerful organizations are built from the inside out. Employees believe first. Customers follow later. When the inside is aligned with the why, the outside feels it. People can sense authenticity. They can sense when words are empty. They can sense when purpose is real. Energy flows where purpose goes. Teams with a clear why outperform those without it, even with fewer resources. They adapt faster. They recover stronger. They innovate more boldly. They are resilient in the face of uncertainty because they know what they are fighting for. Success without why is fragile. It depends on conditions. Success with why is durable. It survives change. It attracts the right people. It repels the wrong ones. Not everyone will agree with your why. That is a good thing. Clarity creates focus. Focus creates strength. When you try to appeal to everyone, you connect with no one. When you clearly stand for something, the right people find you. They recognize themselves in your belief. They become advocates, not just consumers. Purpose is not a slogan. It is not a mission statement buried on a website. It is a living idea that guides behavior. It shows up in decisions when no one is watching. It shapes how leaders act under pressure. It defines what you are willing to sacrifice and what you refuse to compromise. Clarity of why also reveals a hard truth. Some people will leave. Some customers will walk away. Some opportunities will be rejected. This is not failure. This is alignment. This is strength. This is leadership. When leaders lack why, they default to control. Rules increase. Creativity decreases. Fear replaces trust. When leaders are clear on why, they empower. They listen. They serve. People follow because they feel safe. They feel valued. They feel part of something bigger than themselves. The world does not need more products. It needs more purpose. It does not need louder voices. It needs clearer ones. It does not need more information. It needs more belief. Finding your why is not about inventing something new. It is about uncovering what has always been there. It comes from your story, your struggles, your values, your patterns. It is discovered through reflection, not brainstorming, through honesty, not hype. Your why does not have to be grand. It has to be true. It has to resonate. It has to guide action. When you are clear on it, you gain confidence. Not arrogance, calm confidence. The kind that does not need validation. The kind that attracts trust. Once you know your why, the how and what become tools. Strategies change. Products evolve, purpose remains. That is the anchor. That is the compass. Imagine a life where your daily work aligns with your deepest values, where decisions feel lighter, where motivation does not depend on mood, where setbacks do not break you because you know why you started. That is not fantasy. That is alignment. The most fulfilled people are not the most successful by external standards. They are the most aligned internally. They live from the inside out. Their work becomes an expression of belief, not a performance for approval. This is not just a book about leadership. It is a mirror. It asks you to look inward before looking outward, to define before you design, to believe before you build. So here's the quiet challenge. Do not ask what you want to achieve. Ask why it matters. Do not ask how to get more. Ask what you stand for. Do not ask how to lead others. Ask what you believe deeply enough to invite others to follow. If you are building a business, a career, a movement, or a life, start where meaning lives. Start with why. Speak it clearly. Live it consistently. Let your actions prove it daily. And if this message stirred something inside you, do not rush past it. Sit with it. Write your why in one honest sentence, not for the world, for yourself. Then let everything you do point back to that truth.